we say it's an education and support group because we try to bring in information that either they asked for or that they might be able to use. And besides the different projects and exercises that we do, because I've found that actually what women come for after a while is not, well, yeah, they want the information and so on, but it really is their community. I mean, it's like women say, I don't have to explain myself to this group, and it becomes a social group to them. They look forward to being in the group.
If they were to go to shelter, we usually say about 30 days, depending on their situation, because our shelter is accessible for older people. If they're in our 50-plus group, they can stay as long as they want. They usually stay 2 or 3 years and move on, but then I find out as time goes on, they come back because their support has died out, because they've come across some issues that they need the support. And despite what a lot of people think, it wasn't, the support group is not a isolated or sad time. It's a time where they grew and they recognized that. And so they go back to it. I'm a big believer in finding out a person's belief system, their value system, their resource available to them, their support group, and their relationship values. I think that helps you understand where they're coming from so you can help them more.
My support group is a self-help support group. There's no funding. We have no money. It was started by a couple of ladies who knew that the domestic abuse shelter, running their support group, they had so many younger women who had issues about custody and court that it wasn't meeting the needs for the older abused women. So they broke off and started this group. It's just women helping women. Some of them are still in their abusive relationships. Many have divorced and moved on. A lot of the women in our group have adult children who are still abusing them. One woman, 57 years of marriage, came to our group for over 10 years, never wanted a divorce. Now she's been divorced for 3 years. She's a different woman. There's always a smile on her face because she's finally living in peace. And so it's just a self-help group, women who help women, encourage them to be safe. We don't advocate divorce or separation. Safety, taking care of themselves. That group and a few key women in Wisconsin actually saved my life.
They can do whatever they want to do and whatever they need to do. You know, if they come in one time and never come again, I have some that have been coming since the very beginning. And I guess that's just the way I see it. You come as long as you need it, and when you don't need it anymore, then they don't come. And sometimes maybe they won't come for a couple years, and all of a sudden, oh, they'll pop back in. Well, something else has been going on in their life. And I think the most wonderful thing about women who have lived longer, are more mature and richer in their experiences, is that they are so accepting of other women who are coming in. And it's a very warm, a very loving group of people. We do wonderful things in our group. I mean, of course, we have Valentine parties and Halloween parties and tea parties, and I bring people in, and we do Tai Chi and health things, and we go on picnics, we go on retreats. We do a lot of fun things, okay? And it has been known that when we have support group, there are times we have to close the doors because the laughter is so loud they can hear it down the halls. I always like that. Of course, the tears are just as hard. but there's a lot of laughter.
As far as looking at race and culture, we advocate that they know best what's going to work for them. And it's about sitting with a woman and talking to her and asking her, tell me what your life is about. Tell me how the culture you're from has impacted you and your decisions. Tell me if race had anything to do with the circumstances that you're dealing with right now. And most important of all, you tell me how I can help you. What is it that we can do to help you achieve whatever it is you want to achieve? So I guess what I'm saying is there isn't, again, a blanket rule. It's really, our services are very individualized based on the needs of who it is we're working with.
And so what I would do is try to get the person to talk about, tell me about how they felt about what was going on. And most of the elderly people really took maybe 2 or 3 meetings to really be able to talk about that. And even the 2 or 3 meetings, they really did not tell the whole story. And sometimes I would get another person of that person's same age, you know, to come in, and they share a little more, but they never really told the whole story. And but we were able to help them to understand about violence, because most of them did not realize that violence could be more than hitting and shoving and that kind of thing. And that was kind of the education piece that was used to, they began to understand more, but they still were not willing to move. And really, the thing about that is that there was no place, there was no escape.
Very often, women come to the support group to deal with the domestic violence. You know, it's the things that are out there that are public and so on. And then a long time later, you know, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, they begin to say, yeah, there's a little bit more to this, you know. And then they, little by little and very slowly, will begin to examine the sexual abuse that has been there all the time.
I think you've got to be patient, okay? And the one thing, too, about working with older women is their story is longer, and it takes them longer to tell it. And so you have to be, as an advocate, more patient and let them tell it. And sometimes it takes a long time and over episodes, but that's okay. Because that's very important, building that relationship.
Though they may have gone through tremendous amounts of abuse, that's been a strength that they've survived, and they've been able to address it, and that always needs to be respected.